Oh hey, I didn't see you there. I'm Kevin Wong, and welcome to another episode of Coffee Table Calculus. Have you ever wondered why calculus is an integral part of life? In economics, calculus can help determine marginal revenues and costs. Supply and demand is an economic model of price determination in a market. If we were to graph these two, this is demand and this is supply. Because if you were to imagine as price increases, from a supplier's standpoint, you would want to sell more. For demand, if the price increases, you want to buy less. Another important topic in economics is profit, revenue, and cost. Cost is simply money out. Revenue, so numbers sold, multiplied by the unit price. Profit determined from revenue minus cost. Marginal is simply the incremental change. The marginal revenue is simply the change in revenue per unit sold. When X is 0. So when X is 0, which is the constant, is 30. Rearrange this, integrate to find the cost function. The cost is $30 to C over X. This would be the average. So the average cost function is simply C divided by X. So these are your two equations. Moving on. Now, the common student mistake here would to just find X is equal to 100 in the function of C of 100. But that's not what the question is asking for. It's asking for the cost of producing the 100, not all 100 cups. So this is wrong. The correct way to do this is to find what the derivative of C is at 100. Because remember, the derivative of C over dx, this is the marginal cost. So we find the derivative at 100. So given this equation, you can just plug it in 390. Moving on to the third example. You can rewrite this, again, following a similar method to this problem here. So you integrate that. We should look at what C is. Revenue is number of units sold times price, the price of the products. So if we have 0x, revenue is just 0. So we know that C, the constant, is just 0. With the definition of revenue, we can find the demand function. Revenue is based on the number of units sold times the price sold. And revenue is from a consumer's perspective because it is based on the consumer on whether you sell your products or not. So revenue divided by X is equal to price. And this price is demand. So we get the demand function. Okay, moving on to this example. Don't follow the common mistake of just finding R of 100. Because R100 is the revenue gained from producing 100 cups of coffee. It's not the individual revenue from the 100th cup to find the derivative at 100. This is the marginal revenue. So the derivative at 100, you simply plug in 100 into the equation. Luckily here, I've got my trusty TI-84. Plug in. Now for the final problem, does your company earn a profit with a 100 cup of coffee? We should look at the definition of profit. This is 4950 minus the marginal cost, $4,560. Last but not least, beer and calculus don't mix. Remember, don't drink and derive. Thank you. Have a good night.